Before we get into today's episode, I want to shine a light on this episode's show sponsors. Transform your backyard into a paradise with Family Home and Patio, proudly featuring American-made products for unmatched quality and durability. Whether it's a sleek in-ground retreat or an easy above-ground solution, their installation pros bring your vision of a dream pool to life. Their showroom in Decatur, Illinois, not only has premium brand hot tubs with expert installation and top-tier service to keep yours bubbling year-round, but they also carry chemicals, filters, and accessories, and everything you need to keep your water crystal clear and your pool party ready. Their expert pool and hot tub technicians provide professional maintenance and repair to keep your backyard oasis in peak condition year-round. Family Home and Patio is family-owned, family-operated, and family-focused. That's why they treat you like one of their own. Your backyard deserves the best, and they have it, crafted right here in the USA. Family Home and Patio, where relaxation meets home. Give them a call at 217-877-2808 or visit them online at familyhomeandpatio.com to make your dream become a reality. If you're looking for top-notch drone services, look no further. Aerial Elite Solutions specializes in providing high-quality aerial imagery and data for a variety of industries, including real estate, construction, agriculture, and more. Whether you need stunning photos to showcase a property, detailed site survey for your construction projects, or captivating footage of your event, Aerial Elite Solutions has the expertise and cutting-edge technology to deliver exceptional results. Their team of skilled professionals is dedicated to capturing breathtaking visuals that elevate your projects and help you see things from a whole new perspective. With Aerial Elite Solutions, you're not just getting a service, you're getting a partner committed to bringing your vision to life. So if you're ready to take your business to new heights, literally, reach out to Aerial Elite Solutions today. Visit flyaes.com or give them a call at 217-330-7226 to learn how they can help you transform your projects with their services. As we all know, storm season can bring unpredictable weather, and protecting your home or business is more important than ever. That's where Midwest Lightning Rods comes in with nearly 100 years of experience in lightning protection system design and installation. They are the trusted experts in keeping your property safe from the dangers of lightning strikes. Midwest Lightning Rods specializes in creating customized solutions tailored to your specific needs, ensuring your home is a safe haven during the storms. Their dedicated team understands the importance of safety and offers free estimates to help you decide the best protection for your property. Don't leave your safety to chance. Reach out to Midwest Lightning Rods today and give yourself the peace of mind of knowing you're well protected. Visit lightningstrikes-weprotect.com or give them a call at 217-872-4676 to learn more about how you can become part of the community that's been protected by Midwest Lightning Rods. Thank you, sponsors, for supporting the podcast and helping us bring this great content. Welcome to another episode of Beyond Business Podcast, brought to you by Family Home and Patio, Midwest Lightning Rods, Aerial Elite Solutions, and Opus Clip. Today's guest serves as Vice President of Operations for the Restoration Division of Authority Brands and is the co-founder of Dry Medic Restoration Services. Welcome, and thank you for joining me, Mr. Ben Gergis.
Close.
Gergis. Okay, I went over it a couple times and said,
You're good. You're good. It's a 50-50 crapshoot with that one.
Yeah, I'm like, good. No, I really appreciate you coming on here.
Welcome to Beyond Business, where stories come alive. With guests from every corner, we're ready to dive. New episode every 5 days, new voices to share. Laughs and insights, we're all in this affair. Beyond Business, come take a seat. Join the conversation.
So obviously you're a master of your trade. You're an entrepreneur. You're doing real big, good things. And that's amazing. But what kind of a student were you? Let's go back high school. Were you I can't wait to go to college kid, or were you I'm going to mow some lawns or do whatever the hell I got to do to make a couple bucks type of dude?
I was I'm gonna do whatever it takes to succeed type of guy. So, I think the most things that I learned from school is you got to learn to pay attention, and you always got to keep an open mind, and you got to know how to network, right? So I think school for me was more about a place that I just had to get through, and thank God I got through it, and unscathed, so to speak, with a lot of good experiences. I was that kid that you went to when you needed something made, needed something built, trying to figure out what to do. I always worked, and I just grinded, man. I was just a grinder. I was just
Okay. So you know, you made a really valid point, and a lot of people that I've had on my show, that's kind of their answer about like college. Even is
Mhm.
some people need their late teens and early 20s to figure out how to deal with people, to where some of us take even high school and go, we're going to figure out how to maneuver around crowds we don't like necessarily, some we're not comfortable with. And if you take advantage of that, I think that's where you see younger entrepreneurs are the ones who are a little more outgoing, a little bit more able to fit in high school. And you know what I'm saying? So valid point on dealing with people. Did you go to college?
I did for a short period of time. I didn't graduate with a degree. I'd like to say that I graduated from the School of Hard Knocks.
Okay.
We have a running joke in our family. I graduated from Vintage Wine Shop University. So, my family comes from retail, and my dad and my mother are both immigrants from Iraq.
Okay.
We're of Chaldean descent, which is a Catholic descent in the Middle East. You guys hear probably those stories of ISIS, doing genocide and all that. That was our people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my family migrated here in the '60s. My mom and dad met here in America, and they went into business. And we owned liquor stores, beer and wine stores. My mom owned a chain of retail stores, and we've done shoe stores. So ton of retail experience growing up. I kind of lived at those stores after school and grew up in the public and dealing with people. So it really helped shape and mold me as a person and as a human. And my dad was pretty much, and my mom both. Thank God I still have them both, but they were my life coaches and teachers, right? So, my dad
Right.
always taught me the three fundamentals of life, right? It's faith in God, honesty, and hard work. And those three things are the pillars that I built everything on.
Okay. So for, I don't want, let me see. You said you guys came over in the 60s.
Yeah, my parents
So
did. Yep.
you've been here your whole life.
Mhm.
So what, in your opinion, and this isn't just an opinion, I don't think, but immigrants who come over work so much harder. Their kids and families, it's not like I feel like if I opened, not me specifically, but if I opened a store and I had my kid working there, it would be like, oh, you're making your son, to where it's like, no, this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? We're building. So what do you think it is? Just we're spoiled. We're kind of raised being entitled and spoiled, or immigrants kind of come over and go, no, we are chasing something.
I think it has a lot to do with the adage that is kind of lost as like a first, second, third generation. We're all immigrants, right? America's
Oh
not
yeah.
that,
Yeah, I guess
right?
you know
So
what I
like
mean, though.
I,
It's
I agree with you in a lot of sense there. And I put it in this perspective. Your back's against the wall. There's no one here to help you. You got to make it or you're doomed, right? And
right.
a lot of times what we lose sight of, and this is where I'll get on a soapbox for this in a minute, but
Sure.
like that's why I love entrepreneurship, right? I love it because you write your own path. I feel like what's going on today and in our world of second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh generation is they're ingrained to go get a job. You're ingrained to, hey, I got to go to college. I need to work for somebody. I want to get a good paying job. No, man, that's not the ticket.
No.
You got to go do it. You got to go make
Right.
it happen. So, you can go down the path of college. And I look at college like a trade school. So I have 5 kids.
Hmm.
And I tell all of my children, you don't have to go to college. I want you to go to college. And you don't have to specialize in getting a job, but you have to specialize in a talent or a gift or an understanding of a trade. So
Something.
if you're going to go to college to be a doctor, God bless you. That's awesome. But I don't want you to be a doctor that works for the big corporate company. I want you to be a doctor that has a family practice or a practice that he owns or she owns.
Right.
You know, if you're going to be an attorney, go work as an attorney. And I want you to learn the business of
Yeah.
owning an attorney firm. And that way you can write your own way. And that's what's beautiful about this country is that the opportunities are there. You just got to go after it.
Right. It's just that percent. You have to be that percentage. And there's plenty of room for the hungry because I hate to say it, I got two kids, two grandkids, and there's not a very good chance that I'm going to have four, nor will you have five entrepreneurs who work for themselves, who create business. We both want that, pray for it, work towards it. But sometimes it's just the person, man. I have people who work for me that if there were no such thing as dedicated 9 to 5 workers, I would fail.
And I agree. And some people just don't have that into them and don't want it. So I really do believe that it's if you don't know, then take the time through school and figure that out. You know,
Yeah.
go to school as long as you can until you figure that. And if you're content, the thing I always say also is if you're content with that lifestyle and know that that's what you're going to do, then God bless you, go
By
do
all
it.
means, right.
If you want to work and earn, you know, you want to earn 60 grand and your partner earning 60 grand and you have 120,000, then don't cry about not wearing the latest clothes or flashy things or beautiful. Live in the lifestyle that makes you joyful. That's it.
Right, right, right.
And try to figure that out, right?
Well, that difficult thing though is a lot of people don't want to work to find that joyful spot, you know?
Hey,
That's why our
that's what
dad,
medicated is for,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. No shit. Yeah, that's why we get our heads cracked by Uncle Sam no matter where we're from. Right.
You know, at the end of the day, that this is the beautiful part of our country. It's the land of opportunity. You write your way, and you just got to go after it and look for it. And now with the data age, you know, you can go and listen to podcasts like yours and hear stories of how people did it. We didn't have this 15 years ago. You know, you can now go
Right.
research opportunities that you've never thought of. You know, and it really just, you know, it really boils down to want. You gotta, there's three things you gotta do, right? You gotta want it, you gotta get it, and you gotta have the capacity. If those three things don't exist in what you're doing, you're not gonna succeed, right?
Right.
And you'll be miserable. So that's just what's important.
Okay, so there's succeeding and there's deciding you're going to do for yourself. And then there is helping find a company that when I search it, it pops up with the map of the US. And I was going to count them. And as I start zooming in, they've got more. And I go, no, 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 no. Let's just go with check mark success.
Yeah.
So tell me, first of all, you're in the restoration services. Give a brief breakdown. I know what it is. What is Dry Medic Restoration Services? What do you do?
You know, I wish there was an easy way, a quick way to say it, but I'll put it to you like this. We're there when your house has an emergency or your business. So
Okay.
we deal with water damage, fire damage, catastrophe damage like hurricanes and
Yep.
flooding. You know, we're there to come in and rescue that house from the issue. I like to think of it as, you know, think about when you're sick as a human being. You go to the doctor and you go to the hospital, and sometimes an ambulance takes you. Well, we're that guy for the home and for the business. Our team comes in, we assess everything that's going on. We take a look at the building itself and the structure. We take a look at all the personal property, the contents, the things that are inside of your home, all of your clothing, everything that's associated with the dwelling space of your building or your business. And then we identify the issues, scope out the problem, and then work to solve it all within 24 hours, right? Of starting from when that call comes in to getting started on that job.
So are you getting paid from insurance companies? Yeah. Is it one of those? Or are you kind of making a list of stuff that's damaged that you have to, or is it homeowner thing, or is it a homeowner claim and you are helping the insurance companies not lose their ass in the end?
So that's what's beautiful about Dry Medic. We're on both sides of it, right? So
Damn, perfect.
we're right in the middle. So not every job we do is a insurance covered job or
Right.
insurance related. So in a prime example of that, you have some insurance carriers who don't cover mold at all. So regardless of how you had a water damage, there's no mold coverage. So we would have to charge you, the client, to do
Got
that
it.
mold work. But I can charge if you selected to use your policy, I could charge your insurance company to do that said work. Now,
Gotcha.
what the difference is between a professional water damage restoration company and two chucks in a truck is, we have documentation standards, we have intense trainings, we have a ton of resources and understanding of past projects of how to do things, and then having a nationwide network of individuals in different markets that experience different things. You have, if you know much about construction, to any of your listeners, we build different in Florida, we build different in California, we build
Right.
different in New York, and we build different in Tennessee. So, all of that information comes back in, and we all learn from those things. So that's kind of the advantage of like having a national footprint or a national brand. It's really, really unique.
Okay. So did you literally start it with just one spot? I mean, one.
Yeah, man. If you want to hear it, I'll tell it to you. It's a good one. It's
Let's
a good
go.
one. The way we started this business is not normal. So 2008, the economy kind of went on a downward spiral. I was one of those that got severely affected, as well as my business partner, Carlos Asano. 2009, I lost everything to the recession. I was in construction.
Okay. I was going to say,
I had,
what business were you in when it hit?
yeah.
Yeah.
And nine, it was like, man, I remember being on my couch, and that's the first time I learned about what is an anxiety attack. And I had laying on my couch, I just paid all my employees, and I had about $44 in my checking account. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. I just did a humongous $500,000 restoration of a hotel, and I got nothing to show for it. And I got no more business. And I got 3 kids and my wife all looking at me to make money, and I have no clue what I'm going to do. So I had to go back to grinding, and I had to figure out what it was going to be that I did. And I hung up all the tools, and I tried everything I could. I sold bed linens out of a van at VA hospitals as a fundraising event. Okay. And I did that for 8 months, and I would travel for 4 to 6 weeks on the road and fly home to my family. And I'd stay home for like 5 days and I'd be gone again. I ended up giving up my house, moved in with my mom and dad. Thank God that they had the accommodation for us. And I went to work back at retail. And all the while, I'm just trying to figure out how this is going to go. What are we going to do? And Carlos, my business partner, had a similar experience. He was in franchising, and he had the plug pulled on him from a national carrier in the cellular business. And overnight, he pretty much, they lost all of their businesses. And when that happened, he moved back from Florida back home. And we got together. My brother said, hey, you need to go sit with Carlos, man. You guys got too much synergy. You guys are too much alike. You could kill it. You need to figure something out. So for about 2 years, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do together. And then I'll never forget, on a fateful day, after a bunch of good stories, and if there's not enough time in this podcast to get into it, but he gives me a call, and I was on my way to accept a job in the restoration business, literally on my way to take a third interview to talk about my salary and accept the job. And Carlos calls me and says, Ben, I got it. What are you doing right now? I said, I'm on my way to a interview. What's up? Like, I got to go. What do you need? He's like, dude, have you ever heard of restoration? And I said, what? You know what? Get it. Stop it. Don't know. Did my wife tell you to call me right now? Are you messing with me?
Right.
I'm on my way to get in that business. And he's like, dude, don't do it. And there's a lot of other words I can't say on this. Don't do it. Don't do it. We're entrepreneurs. Don't do it. And I remember, I remember sitting in the parking lot of that restoration company, and I just said a prayer to the Lord, and I said, hey, there's 2 doors now, Lord. Which one do you want me to walk through? Show me the way. I give it to you. I surrender. I quit. I don't know what to do. He was so passionate about it. And I'm like, I couldn't believe what he was telling me. I walked in that interview, and sure enough, they didn't offer me what I needed to survive, to pay my family and live. And unfortunately, as a young guy, you got to ask questions when you're in an interview, right? So
Yeah.
anybody who's ever going through this, right? You can't be scared to speak up. And if what you're looking for isn't there, you got to ask. So in my back pocket, I had my pay stub of what I was doing as a home inspector. And I go, guys, is there a pathway to get to what I'm making right now? And I showed them my pay stub. And at the time, it was a six-figure pay stub. It was in October. And I remember they laughed, and it was almost like a movie. And it was like a slow chuckle.
Like, they're like, this kid, you kidding
This
me
guy
right
wants
now?
to make what? Like, who does
Yeah.
he think he is? You have no experience. What are you talking about? And I'm like, I got my builder's license. Is there a path? I want to do this with you guys. What's the path? They said, no path. So
Turn around and walk. That's the path. Huh?
Yeah, I respectfully declined. I got in my car. I called my wife and I said, babe, I said no. Unless you say something different. Carlos told me this idea. I think it's right. I want to do it. And she's like, you're absolutely not doing that. You're going back in there and just figure it out. Like, yeah, I'm like, no, babe, I'm doing it. I already left it up there. I know the path. I'm going to do it. Fast forward about 3 months later, we come up with the name Dry Medic. We trademarked it. We went out and decided that we're going to do this. And we went along with a couple other guys to get on board with us. So we had two other founders there. And we went in and we opened up 3 dry medic restoration companies under one roof. So that way there's, some synergy there. We can all write our own path and everyone has their way and we're going to work together, but there's no headbutting, right? So we started the business and lo and behold, by the grace of the Lord, I got one of my first jobs, pretty much took care of the financial obligation of the startup. And it was what was my best friend, my daughter's godfather, called me and said, Ben, did you start your restoration business? I said, I sure did. I just got done with my last home inspection. I'm done. Today's the day. He goes, well, good timing. I need your help. And he had a 2-story condo flood that affected three of his condo units. And we went in and started work, and it just was from there. It was just like go, and it was never ending from that point forward. And we just started, and it just was very organic. It was very good. It was
So were you hiring crews, or were you and your boy the ones in there doing it, or was it a little bit of both, or
both? I had a really close friend, Jerry. He worked for me in the construction company. He agreed to come join me. He was my first employee. To this day, he's still our first employee. 001 is the joke.
Oh, nice.
And he's still over at the Bloomfield retail location, which were what we started.
Okay.
And yeah, we went in, and I was the doer, right? So I'm the subject matter expert, so to speak, right? So I was in there doing all the work. I was in the van probably up until about 4 years ago. I was on almost every job. I would go and sign and sell and do the work. I could tell you how a Cat 3 smells by a look of a picture. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's been a lot of fun, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, and the education comes with experience, but to actually be getting your experience on the clock is legit. You'll probably, with the natural disasters we have, I'm sure the education will never stop, because the building, like you said, everything's different. So do you guys build still also, or okay, so if something's damaged, you're also going, not only can we do away with the water damage, but we can get it back how your house was to start?
Yeah, if not better, right?
Yeah, you're rebuilding too.
Think about that. It's a fresh coat of paint. That's auto better. You got new carpet. That's auto better.
Right.
So
you had to go stay in a hotel for a couple months, at least make it worth it when you come home.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's just what you're owed, right? So there's a saying that's what we utilize quite a bit. It's same, like, quality, kind. So if you have carpet, it's analyzed and decided what the value of the carpet is based on national sampling. And then we replace that carpet with the same value carpet and get you brand new, set back up. And what's really cool is I got a chance to utilize everything that I was, brought up with. So going back to my dad's store in Novi, Michigan, he's had it for 42 years before he retired. I learned, merchandising, I learned pricing, I learned customer service, I learned the value of conversation and understanding and problem solving. And then in my construction business, I learned materials, building. I was a licensed builder and still am in Michigan and in Florida. And then I did, learning how to put buildings back together through remodeling. And then as a home inspector, I inspected over 2,000 single family and multifamily homes in all phases, whether new construction or for a real estate transaction. And, going through that process, I had a great teacher there who he embedded in me this philosophy of like, you have to do everything the same every time so you don't miss anything. And really, he was really integral in making me understand that. Even I worked at McDonald's, Nick.
Right.
I did. I worked at McDonald's and read that service manual of how to do it.
Right.
And that stuck with me. So like when I started Drymatic, it was always a goal to be the best restoration company. And it wasn't necessarily be like, do the most revenue and be like the baddest guy. It was to be the best customer service oriented business. So,
right. No negative reviews.
Customer, and they'll come back,
Right.
And believe it or not, we learned a great philosophy there, and we learned how to turn one client into 10 new clients. So we took this approach of this customer service and it really validated, what we did in the home. And then we would work with those clients to bring us more clients. And it worked.
Right. Okay.
Yep. So
now, is this something that like you guys came up with, or you got coached into it, or what?
No, honestly, we, everything in my life, I could say it was coached in some form or capacity, right? Because it's just taking all the ingredients and making something of it, right?
Right.
If you ever cook the dish, my mom makes it different than me, and it's the same ingredients from the same store, but it just tastes different.
For sure.
So, we just put our touch to it, right? Some of those examples would be when we clean a structure. Some people like to clean a structure and leave a little bit of a fragrance behind. Whereas I'm like, no fragrance. We want to clean it so that it's neutral. It doesn't have a smell, and then there's no like, oh, it stinks.
Because I was going to say, I might hate it. You love it. And I said, right.
What does it smell like? I don't know. It doesn't smell like anything in here. Oh,
perfect.
Good. So, these are like the things we did. And then going back to like the experience, we being customer focused, customer centric, it was very important. But back to that question of coaching, we had some great coaches along the way. A lot of great coaches. The IICRC was the government, like it's a body of training that we get.
Okay.
So, like you learn like the IICRC S500 standard of care. That's to do water damage.
Gotcha.
There's the S520. That's the mold damage standard. So I had great teachers early on, really good teachers. People that wrote the book were teaching.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right? And then, we went to businesses and we started this big business and it started growing and we're like, man, we're pulling our hair out. We're having all these struggles with employees and we had process. Yeah, we did all that, but man, we needed like a firm system. And then we got on a beautiful CRM and then we took the best of that CRM and made it our own. And then it was like, we need people. We got it. Like people is our key. That's our only product. Like and then we developed the core values. And when we developed our core values and we went into what's called the EOS system, I don't know if you're familiar with that. Have you ever heard of the EOS system? So we went into the Entrepreneur Operating System platform. It's a thing called from Gino Wickman, a book called Traction by Gino Wickman. And just funny, it's right here, always here. The manual's right here. It's blacked out for some reason, but there it is. I don't know. But that book,
Traction.
Yeah, by Gino Wickman. And then we hired an implementer to help us, build our system on that platform. So imagine a computer and every computer operates on a system, right? So today we probably use Apple or we use Microsoft.
Right.
This is like a Microsoft, right?
Got it. Yeah.
So, there's a core set of principles, a core set of sites, and you start learning it. And if you implement it, I mean, it was rocket fuel. We literally started to go bonkers in growth. We, valued and still do value our employees. They're like our partners, right?
Right.
Our clients, they're our biggest champions. We did things like level 10 meetings where we meet every week as a leadership team. We created our core values. Uniquely enough, our core values, like my my lowest level employee, maybe it's a guy that cleans the vans. He can write a core value assessment of his interactions with me, and I can be held accountable to him because of that. So imagine empowering your team like that,
Yeah. To go level playing field for real.
for real.
Right.
And commissions and structures of payment and removing the glass ceiling from the workplace.
Yeah.
That was all huge, man. I had guys that would be like, "Hey, what's your goal? What do you want to make a year?" And they'd tell us the number, and I'd look at him and he goes, "I go, that's not high enough. You can do better." And he's like, "What?" I was like, "I'm not going to pay you that. You're going to earn that, and here's how
Right.
you can earn it, and this is the way you can get there." And that's rocket fuel, man.
Hell yeah.
That's going up into space. So it was really fun doing it.
So do you have or wait, there's one thing that you said that I wanted to ask is you touched on going back from when you were a kid all the way up through every job you had, you learned a little bit of this. At what point in time, I'm going to assume it was probably sometime before you started a contracting company, but at what point in time did you, or was there ever a point in time where you sat back and went, I didn't even realize I was collecting the pieces to this puzzle, but I learned, you know what I mean? Or did you just kind of flow in and go, well, everything that you guys are having trouble with as business owners, I'm not. And you're like, oh shit, I just been around it my whole life learning.
Yeah.
Was there ever a moment that it clicked?
Yes, about 6-7 years ago. Yeah. It really did. 6-7 years ago. I looked, I was like, everything that I just did and wrote and put out and started doing as a collective of, I can literally point to different things about 6 years ago. We sat down, I was like, that service manual looked a lot like the McDonald's stuff I read when I was 14, and like, oh my goodness, the way I talk to the customer feels a lot like when they came into my dad's liquor store, and like,
yeah.
And like,
well, no, so it's valuable because you will look at someone with maybe even an education or experience background and you go, well, I don't have any of that.
None.
Why is this not working?
And I'll be honest with you, it's the never stop learning approach, man. If you think about that, and there's a word that people like to throw around quite a bit, and it's opposite of humble, right? So if you think about yourself as I know everything, you're no longer humble, right? You're no longer open to what's coming your way, right? You're very guarded, you're very reserved, you're very tight to the chest. But when you live open and humble and willing to accept and willing to listen and willing to understand what's going on, then you're going to win. You're not going to have any problems because there's no ego, right?
Right.
Ego, and now you're all set. Because if I walk around pounding my chest, oh, check us out. Look what we do. We're the best restoration company.
Right. Look how much we made. Yeah.
Check the ego at the door.
Right.
We're all humans on this earth, bro. So that was really a big part of it. And again, going back to core values, right? So we wrote a list of those, and they're no particular order. We don't cascade these on the back of our shirts, and I try to avoid our franchisees from putting it all over the place. But they're just 6 words to live by: hard work, compassion, positivity, integrity, and then professionalism.
Right.
So everybody we deal with when they come into our network, I'm asking questions around those core values. Everybody that is in our business is asked to uphold these core values. This is the way we do business, And if you can't do business like this, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Hey, so would you say, I think you might have answered this one. I was going to ask who in your life, if you had to point to a person and say, this was a mentor for me, was it Pops for sure?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Dad was a mentor. My mother was a big mentor. My brother, Derek, was a mentor. My business partner, Carlos, is a mentor. I had mentors that in the business world, I had a guy that I met through inspections who became a mentor to help me understand restoration,
Right.
I like to think that, there's a lot of people that helped influence and shape who I am today.
That's good. I mean, it's good to acknowledge too. Yeah, you seem like a pretty humble guy. I don't know if that's something that has always been or something you've learned, but it's definitely a positive trait. I know a lot of guys who most of them are second or third generation business owners, and
Mhm.
they come out, with that, it's
Hey,
like,
listen,
well, and don't get your new
everybody,
truck before you get your first check. I'm just saying.
yeah, man. And I'll tell you what, that I've always been this way. I'll be honest with you. My biggest I think my biggest thing that really got a lot of success for us as a group is our ability to check the ego at the door and do what's in the best interest of the business, right?
Right.
So setting goals, super important. Setting opportunities for yourself. There's a difference between setting a goal and just looking and thinking, but manifesting that goal,
Right.
creating that opportunity for yourself is big. And you can't do that by driving a sweet car to your office and your guys are not making enough money to go eat lunch. That doesn't work for morale, right?
Right.
So
Right.
you got to stay humble through all of it because it could be taken away tomorrow, man. All this could be taken away tomorrow.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I had a friend of mine, and he's a financial advisor or whatever. Like he recruits financials advisors and stuff like that. You had made a comment a minute ago. So his statement to me, which was pretty good, he goes, you get people who come in that everybody wants to be in charge of how much money they make. It sounds good, it's the best thing ever. Well, you're in
Yeah,
charge,
puzzling. Yeah.
but then the work part comes in. But he said, I always know because, and I guess in an industry that changes so frequently, like finance and tax stuff and all that,
Mhm.
he's like, if I'm not learning, as the 30-year veteran, if I'm not learning from them within a year, then they're not cut out. And it's like, it's been like, I
Yeah.
expect them to be so hungry that I'm learning from them. So it eases my job up by having all these hungry people around me. It's
100%.
like, oh yeah, okay, it makes sense. Because that's what I said is, how do you look at people who aren't doing, he says, oh, they do better than me if they want to.
And it's all about their desires to succeed and what their
Right.
wants, right? So like if
Yeah.
if you think about something for just a minute, and that's a big statement, you cannot just live in a business and wait for things to come your way. You have to go after it,
Right.
right? So like and franchising, it's very unique because everyone who joins the network has expectations, and they're expecting because they signed the dotted line that it's going to be a little bit easier, right?
Right.
Or a lot of bit easier, really.
Right.
And I tell my franchisees as they come through your meet to your team days and come to understand what Dry Medic's all about, that it's not going to be easy. That the first year is the hardest, and you got to follow the system, you got to follow the process, and it's gonna suck for the first 2 or 3 months, and you're not gonna want to do it after 3 months, and you're gonna say, "What did I sign up for?" But brother, sister, I'm telling you, if you continue to think positive about your business, to go after everything and do all that you can to make it happen, and do it with integrity, I guarantee you're going to call me and say, I can't believe how busy I am.
Amen. Say surf and turf tastes like shit if you've never ate a bunch of ramen noodles.
There you go. Yeah, correct.
I
I
mean,
like
no,
that.
you're right though. I mean, it is like, no, there is no secret key. The secret key is zone in, bust your ass, do what it takes, and it will. Reps always show. Reps
And,
show.
and,
That's just how it
and you know what?
goes.
And you know what I think is, I wasn't a franchise guy when we started out. So I started as a single unit office,
Mm-hmm.
right? We built this business to scale. We built this business with the idea of always opening multiple offices. We wrote all the SOPs and all the processes during the beginning and all throughout the history of our company. So when we were thinking about that, we were building our system, right? But you can have the best system in the world. If you're not willing to do the work in the system, then it doesn't matter what you're
Right.
doing. It
Right.
doesn't work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's like when I got into franchising, I was like, I hate franchisors. They're always telling people what to do. They always touting that they're the best and they have everything figured out. How can I do this different? And
Right.
Carlos and I sat back and we're like, listen, we're going to just do this through empowerment. We're going to do this through here's the system tools. here's the best training we can offer you. Here's the industry experience, guys. We're not a bunch of dudes that haven't touched a job or is like a
Right.
third, second gen guy who
Yeah.
used to work in a company. We did it, So I was like, hey man, this is an opportunity here for these franchisees because they're buying a system, but they have a great support team, and we're going to empower them. We're going to let them run, and we're going to guide them through the process, and we're going to help them, and we're not going to restrict and limit them. Like there's things that make me crazy. Like you could think about, hey, you got to buy all your clothing from this one vendor, or you got to buy all these chemicals from us and nobody else.
Right.
Handcuff you to this stuff, and we're making money on all these things, and it's all about the dollar. Now, we're a franchise business. We're here to sell service, and we're there to be partners with our franchisees. So we set out to really empower our franchisees, give them the tools, give them the weapons they need, give them the assets. And if they can go find something cheaper somewhere else, God bless you, go do it. But we got to do the job the right way, and it needs to be.
So currently, is that what you do? Or you're in the business of saying, if you want to be a part of this community and a part of this Drimedics, then reach out and let's talk about taking the steps to do that.
My daily role, so Carlos and I we're the founders, right?
Okay.
So Carlos is the brand president and I'm the brand vice president. To him and I, that title is just a word, right? So
somebody has to be it, right?
Yeah, he's back of house, I'm front of house, right? I deal with everything from operations and the finance and systems and tools and how to do. And Carl's kind of acting as the visionary, like helping to shape what the franchise network looks like, shaping the geography of it, helping with the legal, guiding the marketing, and kind of overseeing it all. But we work so close together, hand in hand. We touch everything, each other touches it, but we understand our roles. And that's really unique, and then what I do is when a franchisee signs up and after they've met our team and understand the process and they're comfortable, they go through the Fran Dev side of the business. Once they come over to my side, they're with me and my team from that point forward. So we help, guide them through the system. We help onboard them. We help get their business open. We get their trucks to them. We help them with everything. And then including doing the work. If they have any issues, problems, I have a technical advisor here that's got 30 years experience. He's going to train.
I have to interrupt this episode for a minute to tell you about the sponsors of the show that make this thing happen. Your backyard should be more than just a patch of grass. It should be a destination. At Family Home and Patio, they bring the best of relaxation and fun straight to your home. Immerse yourself in luxury with their top quality hot tubs built for comfort and crafted right here in the USA. Take the plunge with a brand new pool, whether it's an elegant in-ground escape or convenient above-ground favorite. They install them all. Keep it sparkling with their full line of pool and spa supplies, and trust their expert technicians to keep your water clean and equipment running smoothly. As a family-owned business, they believe in quality, care, and craftsmanship because your backyard deserves the best. Upgrade your outdoor space with Family Home and Patio, your trusted source for everything pool and spas. Give them a call today at 217-877-2808 or visit them online at familyhomeandpatio.com to make your dream oasis a reality. Aerial Elite Solutions is a drone service provider specializing in providing high-quality aerial imagery and data for a variety of industries, including real estate, construction, agriculture, and more. Whether you need stunning photos to showcase a property, detailed site surveys for your construction projects, or captivating footage for your events, Aerial Elite Solution has the expertise and cutting-edge technology to deliver exceptional results. Visit flyaes.com or contact them at 217-330-7226 to learn how they can help transform your projects with their services. With nearly 100 years of experience in a lightning protection system design and installation, Midwest Lightning Rods are the trusted experts in keeping your property safe from dangers of lightning strikes. Midwest Lightning Rod specializes in creating customized solutions tailored to your specific needs, ensuring your home is a safe haven during the storm season. Don't leave your safety to chance. Reach out to Midwest Lightning Rods today and give yourself the peace of mind during this storm season. Visit lightningstrikes-weprotect.com for more information. And now, let's get back to the episode.
40 years experience. I mean, he owned his own property restoration company. We actually acquired him early in our endeavor. And Aaron's been really instrumental in what we do. And Aaron is a franchise business coach, and he's also a technical advisor, and he's the trainer. So you've got a 30-year guy here to help you. You've got Ryan Bussman. He's another FBC. He was sold insurance. He was a sales rep. He was he headed up insurance offices across the country. He also was in restoration as well. Sales guy, marketing guy, like super excitable, super fun to talk to, and just really full of ideas and a lot of energy. And then we have Chelsea, who was a coordinator at our original office for the beginning of time. Now she's onboarding specialist. We have another individual, Helen, was with us at the retail location of our first store and super instrumental in all finance and chart of accounts and understanding. So there's this in-depth team that can help you mold and shape your business and help you grow it. And we really still have a lot of fun doing it, honestly.
Oh, so if someone gets into your franchise, you're there for as much as they're willing to be educated on how you make it a success. You're there to do it.
Yeah. And you know what the best
team.
part, and you know what the best part is? We're old enough now. I think it's been 2.5 years. We started with the Dry Medic Restoration Bloomfield location, right?
Okay.
And 2.5 years when they
Is that home for you?
Yeah. Yep. I'm right outside of Detroit. So a lot of
Okay.
people hear about Detroit, Michigan. We're
Yeah.
in Oakland County.
Gotcha.
So 30 minutes away. In the property damage world, we had the one office. When Authority Brands acquired us, and they owned Stop Restoration at the same time. So they merged the two brands together. So I actually managed two brands. I managed Stop Restoration and I managed Dry Medic. So what we did is, if you think about it in history, at that point, we were around 14 Stop locations and we were at one Dry Medic location. Today, we're about to hit the 60 marker in less than 2.5 years. And my favorite,
Man.
yeah, it's hyper growth.
Yeah.
Energy's real, dude. Like, this is
I
me.
would say that EOS works.
It does work. It does work. And it's all modeled and based off of that core principles and operational procedures. But really, it's a testament to our franchise network. They're the ones doing the work to be successful.
Right.
We're just giving them the tools to do it. But my favorite conversation I get, and it happens like clockwork, right around 3-4 months, people start to fall away from the system and get into habits from old jobs. Like I got a great friend now who's a franchisee. He loved his spreadsheets and he loved his Excel. And he wanted everything there, and he was doing all this double entry. And I looked at him and I said, brother, you bought a franchise, dude. Like, just follow my system. I promise, if you listen to what I'm telling you and you do what I trained you on, it's going to make it easier. It's going to be good. And you'll be able to save the 4 or 5 strands that you got left on your head. Like, we're going to do this together. And sure enough, we awarded him later on the franchise system award winner. So he ended up taking it to heart, and he went in and it's like, I'm going to embrace everything. And he went and embraced all the tools and all the technology, and still uses his spreadsheets, but it's porting out into our system. So he's using that and he's seeing great success. And then I see other guys that were real fighting on the system. Like, I don't need all that. I could do this on my own. Yeah, you can 1 or 2 jobs a week. No problem. You can use a pen and paper, but when you start hiring and scaling, you're going to be in trouble. And sure enough, he started getting in trouble. And then all of a sudden he's like, all right. I give up. He waved the white flag. I quit.
Right.
Well,
so naturally, as people who, and they kind of have to fit the bill to invest in, franchise like yours, is you have your own, even though you're not successful yet, you have your own things that are, okay, if I'm doing it for this long and it don't work, like you just said, the 4-month mark hits and it's like, if I didn't get a phone call at 5 months, I would think something was going wrong and you quit altogether.
Right, right. And we do a ton of check-in. We do a lot of monitoring to help. All my tools and systems, we have visibility on almost everything, right? And it's there for a reason.
So
We have
do
like
you
red flag.
share, I mean, do they, I guess how much of it follows them? Is it, I mean, does someone write a check, you give them the plan and that's kind of see what they want to do with it?
No,
Or
no, it's super
I was going to
structured.
say, because the name is clearly the important part is going, hey, we're going to make sure we do what we do as TriMedic. Yeah.
Dry medic name is everything, right?
Yeah.
So what we do when you sign up for a franchise, you enter into a 250 plus step process to just open your business. And then
Gotcha.
once you go through that step by step process and you go through it all, I mean, there's a bunch of things you got to do. There's a 2 week training course that you do here in Bloomfield that you have to come here and be in person for. There's another week
Oh, so
course.
you're doing a lot of vetting just by going, here's what has to happen if you want to be a part of this.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
I am
yeah.
absolutely not interested in just taking a check from somebody and saying, let's open your business.
Yeah.
You got to be ready to do it.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be a semi-absentee owner, you need to have your team ready to go, right? So like if you plan on just being an investor, this is not a vending machine,
Yeah.
right? So
Whoever's going to be there, bring their ass to that training too.
damn right, damn right, exactly. And they got to
Uh,
be the key person, and
so
there's a lot of moving parts.
have you had any out of 60 in 2 years? But has there been any that I don't know if can you go back and say, hey, you guys are shutting this down. You're not operating according to speed here. I mean, can you
There's
do that?
Yeah, there's a couple people that we've had to step into and
Okay.
organize a way to get them out of it. It's just not a
Okay.
right for them. And there are sometimes people that can't function in the
Yeah.
capacity that's conducive of restoration. It's a 24/7 business.
Right.
I could tell you there's been times and it's well documented. I'll be in church on a Sunday and I would forward my phone for just 1 hour to my business partner Carlos at that time when I was running operations at the business. And I'm like, dude, I can't take a call. I'm in mass. Like I'm not doing it. Like I'm forwarding you the phone. And then it's like every single time I come out of mass, I got 3 text messages. Hey, there's a law job waiting for you to get started on. I sent it to
Yeah.
Jerry to go start it. Go get out there. So like it takes a lot. And you
Yeah.
gotta be and we understood that. And what's really important is we teach our franchisees how to get through those times so you can still have a life, so you can
Sure.
still live and go to your kids' baseball and go do the things that's important to you. It's all about the systems and process. So what's nice about the franchise is we know how to set you up so you don't have these failures and all these imperfection problems. And a couple of these guys are just like, dude, I don't want to do this. It's I'm good. I knew what I signed up for. You guys were honest about everything. For me, it's just I don't want to deal with this anymore. You know what I mean? So it's only been
Life
one.
happens sometimes, I guess, huh?
1 out of 60. And it was a guy that
Pretty
we
solid.
instructed. He had already signed up to be a stop before we even bought the business. Before the business was even there.
Right.
So again, it's a great testament though to us as a franchise network of working with our franchisees so that we can get them out of that position if they need it, right? Because it's all about the brand. And if you call Dry Medic, they better answer the phone and they better show up in 90 minutes or less. And they better be ready to help you. And if they're not and they're not cut out for that, well, we're going to figure out how to make that right for you.
How many states are you in? Every
Oh,
state?
and that
You know?
question gets me. I could tell you right now, I'd say about 15 or 18 states. I think
Okay.
about 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, 23.
Okay. That's almost
23
half.
states. Yeah. Yep.
Is
I
there
can't wait
a,
for Hawaii one.
yeah, right. Right. No shit, right? You're like, we need to open some there.
I can go there and check it
Yeah,
out and
I'll
see
go.
my
Yeah.
house.
I'll take a company trip, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's great.
so do you, first of all, the growth obviously was not expected in this capacity this fast, right?
When we were going through due diligence during the purchase, They told us they wanted to go as fast as we can go, so we pushed it.
Okay.
And really, what I think the power of the Authority Brands Network brings is there's recognition there, right?
Yeah.
There's trust. So Authority Brands is an expert at franchising. They know, franchise law. They know franchise systems and setup. So when we're developing the system, they were there to vet it, verify it, and check it out, before we rolled it out. And then when we rolled it out, we tested it on our own locations. So we
Right.
opened three company-owned stores, and they went through my trainings and they set up, and then we used those to be like, oh,
Let's
okay,
see what needs tweaked. Let's see what's right on point.
and it
Yeah,
worked,
yeah.
and it
Good
worked,
idea.
and I'll be honest with you, it's you can go start a restoration company yourself tomorrow morning. All you need is a truck. You
Sure.
need a, you
Yeah,
need a
you can start anything,
certification,
right?
and you could go start it tomorrow. This really does put you on third base. It gets you set up, but you still got to run home to score. You still
Yep.
got to go do it, right?
Yeah.
So we've done a really good job of supporting and helping and training. And training is everything. We do weekly roundtables. So every week on Wednesday, it's an hour and a half call. The franchisees get together. It's facilitated by our
Oh, it's
FBC.
everyone.
Everybody comes in. Whoever can
Oh,
make it comes. And it's a very structured call. We have one core focus that we're talking about, and everyone gives input on that core focus. And then if there's any issues, we work to resolve, we help each other out, we go deal with it. So it's really cool, man. It's a lot.
oh yeah, because that's what I'm saying. It's going, if you're an owner of a franchise also and you run into a problem before I get there, how do we deal with it? That's beautiful.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
beautiful idea. I have that is that how is this not how normal franchises work? I mean, because
Um,
what you're saying, I'm not really familiar with how franchises work, but what you're saying is like either I'm just dumb because I'm like, you have a fail proof way. I mean, it sounds like what you,
the idea is that, man, we're trying to get it
yeah.
to a point where the
Or no, I
only
guess what you're doing different is you're going, I don't know. Let's get through this first 75% of what you need to do before I see your check.
correct. And your check, no, I mean, look, your check is written up front. You are.
Sure. But
And
I mean, you're going, you gotta,
yeah, I'm gonna make my job. I take it personally,
right,
right? So like when somebody strokes a check, it's they better have value there.
right,
And if they're writing a check to something, granted, a majority of that money is going towards equipment and operations. It's not a big chunk of money going to the franchise for the
right,
system, right?
right,
So I look at it and I say, look, if somebody's gonna buy in, they better buy into a system that works.
right.
And the system that works isn't a system that's just set it and forget it. It's a system that works. Like we work, right? We're in the background working, helping, training. There's trainings everywhere you look.
Right.
One of our fun facts, the guys that joke about it all the time, they're like, dude, I'm so sick of looking at your videos. Like, Ben, you have more hours than the Lord of the Rings trilogy, dude. Like, come on. Like, how much do you have to be on? I'm like, they gotta understand it. And
Gotta know,
you got
man.
so having these tools and always evolving. And listen, we got a lot to do still. Like this is not a complete 100% turnkey. It keeps growing, man. Every day we're doing more things for the network. Every day, I just got back off of a mission. And I was just at a mission for 4 days to try to help the network achieve a national relationship. And that doesn't stop, and it's constant. And we're always improving and working on honing our system tools and process. So it's fun, man. It's still a lot of
Is there
fun.
a is there a goal?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
There's a
is
goal.
there how
Like
far
like
out
there's a
is your
goal.
goal? What's your
My
five
goal,
year
my goal.
goal?
Yeah, our 5-year goal is we want to have at least 300 territories.
Okay.
And really, in the franchising world, it's illustrated by locations. I like to look at territories because I would prefer to have 50 great operators that own 300 locations than to have 200 operators that do 300 locations.
Okay. So you're
So
saying if someone likes it, it'd be nice if they would have three.
and we're starting to see that. So that's what's
Oh
really
yeah.
cool. Is they're in their 1-2 spot. They're like, hey, I really like it.
Got some
Um,
good solid people in and said, let's
I'm
do this again.
comfortable. I'm ready to pull outward now
Yeah.
and
Let me
create,
drive 200 miles and do this again or whatever.
or
Yeah.
even, look, they go by zip code and population, and I want to pick up another scoop. And then they start scooping up more. And, and that's a sign of a really healthy system. When you've got your own franchisees wanting to reinvest and buy more, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that made me really proud. And we started to see that in the last year. And now we're seeing it more and more. It's like happening like, hey, a guy calls up and says, yo, I'm looking at yeah, I don't know. I'm going to just use a random state. I'm looking at in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm like, hey, I got a franchisee already over there. And out of courtesy, we always let our franchisees know there's somebody coming in to be your neighbor. And they're like, wait, what? Like, yeah, dude. And then they talk to each other. And sometimes,
Right.
like, hey, I like this guy. Let's go. Like, I want to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or sometimes the guy doesn't work out and doesn't end up on a franchise and says, hey, I went through discovery and it wasn't for me, which is great. I would prefer that if it wasn't for them to do it then. Right.
Right.
And then that guy in Vegas is like, yo, that got me thinking that guy was cool and everything, but there's a lot of opportunity in that market. I want to
Let me
get in.
get that. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really cool to see that. So my goal really is like 300 territories in the next couple of years, really. And then I want to really see, some really heavy revenue. And then my real end goal, I want to be a national disaster relief team also, where we have distribution channels within the country that can respond to our large losses and really go after it.
So like a hurricane hits and your teams are on site per the government.
Yeah, or per individual businesses. So like we
Hell yeah.
deploy from Michigan to Florida all the time. So like I
Yeah.
personally have been down in Florida during hurricane events. Hurricane Ian, for an example, I was there. I walked the island, Sanibel Island, when it got slaughtered by the hurricane.
Oh yeah.
And I saw that devastation and destruction. And we worked 105-hour work weeks, like literally, like and it's a lot of work, but it's really gratifying. It's really, really, really good for for the profit margin too. I mean, it's a great
Right.
opportunity.
Yeah.
But more importantly, dude, you're helping so many people, and you're kind of their savior. And there's a lot, like it's fun. Like you get
Yeah.
out
It's
there,
rewarding.
I help that guy.
Yeah. 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 Well, you had to go work hard after you took all them trips down to Florida and went, nope. Thought they said there was something to clean up. Guess I'll hang out on the beach.
Yeah, I wish. I wish. I do
Uh,
remember during Hurricane Ian.
You're like, this ain't what Florida was supposed to be like. It's tore
like,
up.
there's a real thing there. After a hurricane, I don't know if you know this, but after a hurricane, there's a calm in the air. And it's like a 1 week of the most pristine, gorgeous weather you've ever seen in your life.
Really?
And I remember sitting in Naples, Florida, right after Hurricane Ian or one of the other ones. And I remember sitting on the beach and I'm like, because I just took a break. I was like, I got, and we're working right on. I mean, you're working on the beach, and I'm like, I'm just sitting out there and I pull my work boots off and I just sit down in the sand. I'm like, look around, dude. It's 73 degrees. It's like 40% humidity. It is paradise.
Perfect.
And the ocean is just glass. And you're like, man, that calm after that storm. And this
Is
is
for
then you turn
real,
around
huh?
and there's all this
Destruction.
man. So
Yeah,
you
that's
get a
tough.
respect for it, man. You get a real respect for it.
Yeah, that's why you keep that place in Michigan.
I love it here. I got
Yeah.
fresh water. Any of my enemies have to cross a body of water to get to me. So I'm okay.
Yeah, we don't get too well. We get tornadoes, I guess, in the Midwest, but other than that, we're not gonna
We get a
get
lot
none
of
of the.
rain.
Yeah, we do. We've got a lot of wind and rain lately.
Where are you out of?
Oh, I'm in Central Illinois.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
how close are you? Well, Chicago, probably what, about an hour and a half from you?
No, so we're like 2.5 hours from Chicago, St. Louis, and Indy.
Okay, so
So
Indy,
we're like dead
I got a
center.
guy in
We're
Indy. I
yeah.
got a guy in Indianapolis. I got guys in Chicago, and I got where's
You got
the
anyone in St.
guys
Louis or no?
you want to buy one? I got one
I
for
don't
you.
know. So is it? So I was gonna ask. This is a question I had. So is it? Your places you do? You're not buying a specialty. You guys restore everything.
We restore.
I mean, each
Anything.
company, it isn't like, hey, I want to do water restoration, or this guy says I'm doing fire. It's like, well, no, if
Well,
you can do
you
both.
come in and you buy mitigation first. So that
Oh,
includes water, fire, mold.
mold, gotcha.
Automatic. You got to start
Gotcha.
there. If you're qualified, we'll let you start with reconstruction. If you're
All right.
unqualified, we'll train you up to do reconstruction. It takes about a year to 2 years to develop that.
Right.
And then we do personal property. So if you go through training, you got to start with water, fire, mold, the mitigation, but then we'll approve you to do contents and we'll support you through that.
Right.
So
So
we have a step program.
is this I don't know if this is like, nah, they need to get a hold of me, but what's franchise cost?
Contact Richard Zimmer. He's our
Okay.
franchise business development. He gets you into all that. I could give you a little insight on like what the current, like if you were to sign up for scratch and like understand it, you're just around like we just updated it. I'll give it to you. 1 second, let me pull it for you. I normally have it, but they just changed it, so I don't want to give you the wrong number and be quoted incorrectly here. So one
Well, and
second.
I was even, yeah, just ballpark. I didn't know. Some people listening are going, man, I wonder what I might
Like
say. At least
in
I
a
might save
ballpark,
Mr. Zimmer a couple, a
yeah,
couple emails,
yeah.
or
So like
gain him a couple.
Richard gets you all the details, right? He's R Zimmer, Zimmer at authoritybrandsllc.com. This brand you can get in here right around 180 upward of 300 grand to get into the business. And that's all in, right? So
Oh
like
yeah,
that's, you're going to be, you're going to need van and tools and setup and startup and all that good stuff. So, if you think about it that way, that's a safe way to put it
yeah.
in
No,
perspective.
no, 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 no. Yeah, yeah.
And like what we quite often talk about is, the franchise fee is 45 grand, right?
Right.
That's what a franchise fee. The royalty rates go from 5 to 7%, and then there's like a brand fund like that you contribute into, and that's 1.5%. And like what we advertise is $187,000, about 187 to 190,000 to start, and it goes up to around about 310. Just
Okay.
depends on how aggressive you want to be,
Right.
right?
Right.
So we got discounts for military guys. So guys and gals, we have military discounts, minority discounts, women discounts. If you're a women-owned business, we have that. Our top 25% of our franchise owners gross around 3.4 million a year in revenue. Our average system sales is 1.5 million in revenue, and our top franchisees are grossing like 7 million in revenue a year. So,
Well, and so
they're doing
here's it,
good.
right? As you say, um, the actual franchise fee, 45 grand, something like that. And I'm thinking, if you've ever started a business on your own,
Yeah.
yeah, with no plugs, with no one knowing who you are, with no one, oh, you're losing 50 grand if, no matter how good you are, you're losing 50 grand at least
Yeah.
in the first year just trying to let people know who the hell you are.
And you're not even paying yourself yet.
Yeah, and that's broke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
problem.
But so that's what I'm saying. When you say that, it's like, I mean, yeah, it seems like a pretty great system you have set
I
up. I
mean,
mean,
listen, at the end of the day, what's really, really cool to think about is you don't have to go at it alone, right? And
right,
that speaks volumes. You get an opportunity to work with teams, you get an opportunity to work with others. We have a lot of franchisees that kind of district themselves into one area and say, hey, you're my neighbor, you're my neighbor. Why don't we meet once every couple of weeks and talk out some issues? Let's help each other. Let's grow together. I mean, our team truly believes in the core values. They really do, and they hold me accountable to it.
right.
Even me. Right? I get an email once in a while that says, "Hey, dude, what's up with communication, dude? I emailed you like 2 days ago," and I'm like, "Brother, it's like two
My
days ago."
bad. My bad. Yeah.
You know,
Forgot about that. I wanted to answer the same day. Right.
I'm sorry. I've been email. I answer you normally 99% of the time, but that email I needed to think about a little bit. Thanks. So it's good though, because then it reminds me, hey, guy sends you an email, respond back, give me a day or two to get back to you. So it holds me accountable, and,
Yeah.
and it's and it's great, and then I love it. It's a good thing.
That's great, man. Well, yeah, I'm looking at it, drymedic.com. So whether you guys need service or man, I think you might. I wouldn't be surprised if you have someone reach out because that number you just threw out there was way more enticing than a turnoff.
It is,
You know what I
again,
mean? It's not a break the again, I'm someone who started companies, so you have to it's not cheap, it's not easy. It's
no.
not I mean, yeah. So,
And if they go to drymedicfranchise.com,
okay.
they're at drymedicfranchise.com, they can go to that site, fill out a quick consent form, and they'll set up a call with you. They'll go, everything is there, like our competitive advantage, our ownerships, what it takes to do this, all the investment, all the discovery phase of what's going on, the territories and learning about what's available to them.
Well, because I tell
There's
you
so
what, where we're at is
yeah,
open. We're open. We need
yeah.
one of you literally.
Come on,
I mean, we're
bring them.
Springfield, Champaign, Bloomington, Danville. We're all everything is around us.
I mean, and that's a great area,
Yeah.
and it's a growing, thriving market. You know, our
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Indianapolis, our Indy office, which is what, about 2 hours, you said, right, from
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
They're crushing it,
I was going to
right?
say we could if someone opened a store where we're at, we could not get in any of those big cities ways that I
Mhm.
said, and you're still talking. Man, there's 100,000 people every 50 miles in every direction. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like 90,000 in this town, 80,000 in that one, 90 in that one.
And they're all homeowners, and there's, wherever there's homes and homeowners,
Yeah,
wherever there's business and business owners, that's where you want to be, right?
that's it.
And I like to think about this way. If they got running water and they got water that runs away, then there's
Yeah,
going to be a day where they need to call dry medic, because
yeah,
it's just infrastructure, man. And you know, unfortunately, mistakes happen and things go on, and you need help to clean it up. So we're
yeah.
there to do that. You know.
Well, I'm going to put your, and I'll put in the description of this. I'm going to put the link in case somebody wants to more easily access what you guys do or the franchise side of it. Because yeah, I actually have a couple people in mind that I'm going to make sure get, if they don't watch anything else, they're going to need to take time for this one. No, I like this because you're providing, opportunity. And I
Yep.
think that's huge. A lot of people, even that think they might want to do something. I don't, I call it like the family rut, right? Where you have people who they probably would have been entrepreneurs. They weren't as brave as you because they go, okay, I got out of college or quit college or whatever. And I got this girl pregnant. I married her. Now she told me I have to get a paycheck every week for the rest of my
Right.
life.
Right.
So then you get to be 35, 40, and you go, okay, I still want to go work for myself.
Right.
Man, to have something that is, I won't say ready made because you got to do the work, but being reputable and having your phone ring is sometimes the hardest damn part about doing it. You could be the best at anything if no one sees you do it.
Listen, that was our hard part for us. The
You
first
did
two
it.
years,
You did the legwork, man.
it was. I mean, I'm talking. You talk about grind. I mean, it was. Wherever I went, I had a dry medic shirt on. Wherever I had a dry medic in my pocket. Whatever I did, I made sure somebody knew what I was doing,
Do
right?
you
Because
still do that?
oh yeah, it
Yeah.
drives my wife crazy.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
we'll go to a restaurant, and
And
there'll be a
she's
great
going,
server,
oh,
and
just,
I'll be like, "Hey man, how long you been a server for?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been doing this for like 3, 4." I go, "You happy?" He's like, "Yeah, it's cool. It's whatever." I go, "You work long hours, huh?" He's like, "Absolutely." I go, "Hey man, listen, dude, do you want to, are you looking for a career change? Because your personality would be perfect for this business. Can I tell you a little bit about it?"
yeah.
This guy, I'm buying this guy a drink. He's waiting on me. And I'm talking to him
Yeah.
about so, and then all of a sudden the guy overhears you next to him. And now you're talking to 4 or 5 people, and it's awesome, man. It's just,
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing was when we sold it, is kind of like feeling of like that identity loss, like you're
Right.
like, it's gone. But you know what? It's one thing that will always stay forever in my mind was when I told my family I sold the business, like my kids, right? My wife knows everything, but my kids. And my oldest son, who's now 17, he looks at me and goes, "Dad, you sold Drimedic? That was what I was going to do." And I was like, "Oh, that kid, that's not what you were going to do. But, I love that you wanted that." And I said, "Listen, I'm making a commitment to you. You're going to, now when we go on vacation, you're going to see Drimedic on vacation." And it was beautiful. I have a franchisee in Port St. Lucie, Florida. And we were flying out of the airport. I forgot the airport name that's near that. And we were flying on vacation. We're flying back home. And here's these guys, dry medic shirts, dry medic sweatshirts.
Oh, yeah.
and they're in front of us boarding the plane. They're coming to my class that
Really?
week. Yeah, because I was flying home to go back after vacation.
Oh,
And I
that's
swear
great.
to you, Matt Black is my buddy. I love him. And my kids were there, and my son's like, Dad, look, Dre Medic.
You're
It was
famous.
it was cool, man.
Okay, so so when did you sell the company?
We sold in 2022, so November 2022.
And you still work there?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I work for the company that bought us, Authority Brands,
Oh, Authority Brands is the company that owns.
acquired
Okay,
Drymatic.
okay, you just made it all make sense to me. I even
Yeah,
reread my little thing. I'm like, what the hell did I say?
yeah. So Drymatic was a single standalone unit. They
And
saw the
so,
potential, they saw the systems, they saw the
oh,
tools, and they
so
wanted to.
Authority Brands is the one that makes it go big.
Well, Authority Brands is the muscle behind it, and well,
Bam.
they're the. I should say, Authority Brands is the gas, right? And they
Gotcha.
put that gas in our tank, and then they let us fly, and they kind of helped us, like whatever we were doing. We go through their team, and we just assembled this thing, and you know what?
60 in 2 years, I'd say it works okay.
It works great.
That's
And I'll be
fucking
honest with
insane
you,
to me.
they own some monster companies. I don't know if you ever heard of Ben Franklin Plumbing, 1 Hour Heating and
Yeah.
Cooling, Mr. Sparky Electric. These are all
Oh,
their companies.
oh, so they go buy companies that they think seem successful and go, we're going to put this everywhere we can.
And they are already. And they bought whole franchise networks and assembled this everything inside the home from the curb to the roof is their motto.
Mm,
So we're one, and you know what's cool? We work together. So imagine the synergy with a restoration company,
yeah.
plumbing company, and a heating and cooling company. We trade business to each other, and we help each other, and we network together. We have these national conferences where there's over 1,000 business owners in one building at the same time talking about the same things, and
Beautiful.
it's all related to home service. So
Yeah.
it's really cool to be a part of.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's been a great time just sitting here chatting with you, man. You seem like a great dude
Thanks,
man,
man.
you clearly have it together. Uh,
Some days, just don't ask my wife that.
yeah. I was going to say, uh, yeah, none of us tell the stories about the part where you said, man, if I would just drive off this bridge, but my kids would know I was gone.
Oh man, nothing ever good is easy, my friend. Nothing
No,
ever good is easy. Everything comes with its challenges. There's not a day that you can go. If you miss your prayers, you're gonna have a rough day. So you
right.
got to thank God every morning, thank God every night, and then you got to go out there and be the best version of yourself when it's the hardest for yourself to do it. Like you just got to remember to do that. And I
That's
say
right.
that here because I say that to myself every day when I want to punch my head through the window and be
I
like,
get it.
doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's something bigger
I'm
than
one of
me.
them that we make monies off these things ringing, right?
Oh,
And my phone will ring and it's like anxiety attack. I'm like angry because I didn't want to call at that time. It's like I'm
yeah,
seriously, let
yeah,
me check myself. I'm getting mad because my phone is doing what I need it to do.
correct. And you know what? You're
Ring.
right. Yeah, you're right. It's
But
been crazy, man. It's a
yeah,
crazy venture, and for all your listeners out there, man, you can do anything you want, man. You just got to manifest it. You got to think about it. You got to live it. You got to taste it. You got to breathe it. And if you don't have it, think you do because you can get it if you think you can. That it's as that silly story when we heard as a kid. It's true, man. If you're gonna tell yourself every day I can do it, you'll do it. If you tell yourself you can't, you're not gonna do it. It's just not gonna do it.
you heard it coming from someone who has been there and has done that. And
Yep.
well, Ben, I really appreciate you joining me, man. I wish you all the success. I'm for sure going to plug all your stuff. And like I said, I have a couple people specifically that probably going to, I'm going to send over your guys' way. I think, yeah, I'm sold. I don't
Yeah, no,
know.
it's cool. And listen, when you guys
Yeah,
come out,
you're providing opportunities, man. You know?
and listen, it's not fluff, man. It's real. Like when you
Yeah,
guys when they come out to our Meet Your Team Day, they see it. Like,
they're
we talk a
getting
lot
with
of
it.
shit. We hang out, we have a lot of we're real people. Like it's a real thing, and our owners are real, like and we want
Right.
to encourage that. We want to have a you know, my daughter kind of makes it funny for me. Yeah, she joined a sorority, and I and
Okay.
I like never understood that, right? But then I understand. I'm like, wait a second, this is like a franchise, man.
Yeah,
You're
you're
like,
like, wait, I have one of these.
like, wait a second, you got one of these there, you got one of these there, and you're calling this one, and you're getting this one, and you're learning from that. And I was like, huh. there's a lot to that, and there's a lot of opportunities that come from it, and we're starting to see it. I got a guy in Colorado. He signed a deal with a condo company that he had a property management group that ended up having a bunch of condos in another market that we're in, and we connected that one to that one, and now they're all doing business. I'm like, that's amazing.
It's our sorority.
Yeah. Frat house too.
Let's
It's
get
definitely
it.
Frat house.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They're both.
All right. Well, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'm going to get you out of here. Again, I appreciate you joining me today, and I'll keep in touch with you just through email,
Please.
just to see what the heck's going on, man.
Anytime, man. Anytime. And if you're ever doing any other conversations, you do some roundtable stuff, some business mastermind stuff.
Definitely keep you in mind.
Keep it in mind.
I actually have another. I have another thing that we're got in the works now. That's going to be strictly a roundtable podcast called Small Business Banter. And your mind is perfect for it. Not even because of necessarily what you're doing, but because of what you have done. Your education that you didn't formally get.
Right.
Valuable quality.
Listen,
brother.
I've got about 9 master's degrees in my belt right now.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love going into these corporate meetings, and these guys are all, they've been studying forever, and I just look at them. I go, listen, bro, that looks great on a spreadsheet, but good luck. You know what I mean?
Hey, loosen that tie and sit down and listen for a second.
Come on, let's go.
All right, brother. Well, hey, you take care of yourself, man. Have a good rest of your day, rest of your week. Thank you for your time. Everybody, thank you for joining us on another episode of Beyond Business. Till next time, be kind to one another.
All right, God bless you guys.
Welcome to Beyond Business, where stories come alive. With guests from every corner, we're ready to dive. New episode every 5 days, new voices to share. Laughs and insights, we're all in